All right, I'm back again with another video, and today I'm going to do records in my collection number 9. And normally this is my thrift store finds Monday. I found a new honey hole, and next week I'll do a thrift store finds Monday again with a lot of new vinyl finds. I have about 5 or 6 so far, but I want to see what's over there. It's here in town, that's all I'm going to say. Yeah, so another thing I want to do, I'll get started in a minute, is I want to give a shout out to PC31. This is my link down above, right? And this is Mike. And he's the vinyl policeman, PC31. He has a great channel, and what I want to say about Mike is he supports a ton of other channels. So let's support him, really good channel. And something I found out, he's in a Kinks cover band. And I don't know if Mike's going to be, thrilled about me saying that. But if you go to Mike's channel and ask him about it, he can drop a link for you. And he does a cover. He's the front man. He's the singer and guitarist, and he fronts the band. And, he says he's just doing it for fun. And they do a killer cover of From Kinks Controversy Till the End of the Day. You got to see it. I hope he shares that with you. And again, please check out Mike's channel. So I'm going to get started, and I changed my mind on the records in my collection that I wanted to show today. I'm going to do country rock because that's a genre that, I go way back with that. But first, very first record I'm going to show is Kris Kristofferson. And this is from 1971. This is the Silver-Tongued Devil and I. And this came after his first record, Kristofferson, which, really didn't sell well. This is on Monument Records. But this is a cool record. You have Loving Her Was Easier Than Anything, and The Pilgrim is on here. And the backup singers, pretty interesting, Chris Gantry, Rita Coolidge, Billy Swan, and Donnie Fritz. Chris Gantry wrote Dreams of the Everyday Housewife that Glenn Campbell recorded, and that's such a wonderful song. I'll show you this one. That's on Monument. And the next record is a record that I really, really, really grew up with, and that's Jerry Jeff Walker's self-titled record from 1972. And Jerry Jeff was born in New York, in the very northern part of the Appalachian Mountains. So it really is, he was really from the hill country. And he came to Texas. Around 1971, he made Austin, Texas his home. And this is such a wonderful album. This is, in my opinion, the very, very best Jerry Jeff album. You have Hill Country Rain on here, but LA Freeway and That Old Time Feelin' is on here, written by Guy Clark. And, they were great buddies, for sure. And every song on this, I just love. The entire album is just absolutely fantastic. Jerry Jeff Walker, Hill Country Rain. You have Her Good Love and Grace, Charlie Dunn, When I Had You, Moonchild, David and Me, that's David Bromberg and him, Hairy Ass Hillbillies, Curly and Lil, and again, LA Freeway, That Old Time Feelin', the Guy Clark, and Hill Country Rain, the opener. A lot of it is recorded live in Austin, Texas. And this is so cool. There's a booklet in here. And, the best thing about this is to get the CD with the 6 bonus tracks. I have that as well. And this pressing, this is a second pressing. I have the earlier pale blue pressing. That sounds great. And again, I enjoy the CD. Now, my third record to show, Randy Bachman quit the Guess Who, and they formed this band, Brave Belt. And Headley in the UK showed, has a series where he's showing very, very obscure country rock records. Now, what I'm doing today, this is not a complete list. So, I could have shown Beau Brummels or Ricky Nelson, What Do You Want Country? So many artists, country rock, the Graham Parsons records, on and on and on. But I'm just showing you some records in my collection, and hopefully it won't go on too long. But this is from 1974. And, you know, they're from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And this is just fantastic country rock. And this is the last record. They were going to do a Brave Belt 3. This is, let me show you the height. I really want to get the first Brave Belt record. And this is very much country rock and just different. It's really cool. So anyhow, back to, they were going to do a Brave Belt 3. They didn't get it on. So then they formed BTO, Bachman Turner Overdrive, which the great Canadian band that we know today. So this is a really great find. This was a thrift store find, $1.50. And this is on, and I love these Warner Reprise. All of this business here, guys. When I was a kid in the early 70s, you sent $2 and you could get any of these comps. Because the Warner, the Reprise label had so many artists on it that you got these comps with everybody from Zappa to Arlo Guthrie to the Captain Beefheart, Jethro Tull, on and on and on. And I would send $2, and they sent me the big ball when I was about 15 years old in 1972. Anyway, let me show you again. Well, let me show you this. That's the coupon that you cut out. You got an envelope, put a stamp on it, send it, and Reprise sent you the record. So on the Reprise label, and if you didn't know, this is Mr. Sinatras Label. And originally when he started this label, he just had artists like Sammy Davis Jr., himself, his daughter, and other artists, Dean Martin. And finally he gave in that they needed to do, you know, mainstream pop artists, rock pop artists of the mid-60s, and they ended up with one of the biggest rosters of artists and musicians in all of the business. Very cool. So my next record, I have to show Sweetheart of the Rodeo. And why? Because Graham, you know, as Chris Hillman once said, he said, you know, Graham more or less invented country rock. We in the Flying Burrito Brothers played it, and the Eagles perfected it. And you know what Chris is saying, not Graham, what Chris Hillman is saying, you know, because he has that great book that his biography that he put out as well. He's just saying that the Eagles really brought it into the mainstream, and they made it very commercial. But I love the first 3 Eagles albums. Those are my favorite, very country rock. So I picked up this copy not long ago. It's very, very clean. I needed a Sweetheart of the Rodeo, and I got it. And this is just on the red Columbia. I'm not going to show you. It's on the red Columbia. And the great songs, I Am a Pilgrim. And where I really enjoyed the expanded edition of this is on my CD with all the deluxe, the bonus tracks. But you have The Christian Life, Louvin Brothers, Hickory Wind, fantastic, Blue Canadian Rockies, Life in Prison, Nothing Was Delivered. You know, and one more thing about this, a lot of, some feel that it ruined the Byrds because the Byrds, you know, when Gene quit, they had such a great thing going on. And, you know, Graham, this record was just so unpopular at first, but it grew and grew and grew, and today it's really quite popular. So once again, the Byrds, Sweetheart of the Rodeo. And next up is, let's talk about the Burrito Brothers. And this is the Blue album. This is after Graham had died. And you have 2 Byrds here. You have Chris Hillman and Michael Clark. You have Ricky Roberts that jumped in. And you have Bernie Ledden and Sneaky Pete. There's Sneaky Pete, and there's Bernie Ledden sneaking up behind Sneaky Pete. And this is where Gene Clark almost became a burrito because Tried So Hard is on here. I'll show you the sound of the tracks. And Ricky Roberts does his song Colorado on here. Absolutely wonderful. And they cover the opening track is White Line Fever, the Merle Haggard tune. And this is a very laid back album, but I I just love this Blue album. It's actually, I like this as much as all the other Flying Burrito Brother albums. So let me go ahead and show you the wax on this. And this is a white label promo, if this isn't cool enough. So there's the white label promo. And I got this one, I scored this one at my local Recycled Records, Reno, Nevada, in Midtown, downtown Reno. And next up, I want to show my very, very favorite Gene Clark album. And this is from 1972. Let me show you this. Very, very clean copy. Happy to have this. I enjoy my CD as well. But for vinyl, this plays so nicely. And here's Gene on the back. I want to show you, if you can see closely, because I know his son Kai, and when Kai and I were in the band together. This is Comanche, California. And Comanche is just southeast of Fort Bragg. It's out in the country. It's beautiful out there. And that's where Gene lived. You know, he blew out of LA. Let me show you the songs too. Gene got the heck out of Dodge, out of LA, and moved up to the beautiful country of Mendocino, and it's still very, very beautiful up there. It's not overcrowded at all. And people like Gene Parsons, Bonnie Raitt, Booker T lived up there, you know, as well as Gene and other artists, celebrities, painters. A lot of musicians moved up that way. And on here you have The Virgin, With Tomorrow. Let me show you. With Tomorrow is one of my very, very favorite Gene Clark songs. It's just him and Jesse Ed Davis on guitar. Yeah, next up, I do want to show, this is the Fantastic Expedition of Dillard and Clark. And there's Gene with Doug. And, you know, these guys are Missouri boys, man. And you could just tell. I mean, look at these guys having fun. I mean, absolutely. This record is from 1968. And my favorite tracks on here are Out on the Side. I love that opener. She Dark the Sun, written by Bernie Ledden and Gene. And, you know, the Train Leaves Here This Morning is also just iconic, written again by Bernie and Gene. The whole record is just the radio song. The radio song is just so, get it on, brother. In the Plan, Something's Wrong. And the other Dillard and Clark album with Don't Let Me Down, Gene's Beatle cover, is so melancholy and beautiful. So this is, I have 2 or 3 copies of this. This is my very, very cleanest. Love having this record. Now let me show you. So this is on A&M, and there we go. Beautiful record. I love my country rock. And I want to show a band from Ohio. They're from Waverly, Ohio, Pike County, Southern Ohio, and that would be Pure Prairie League. And this band, Craig Fuller is really, he's the front man for this band, singer, guitarist. And why I'm showing Two Lane Highway is they do a Gene Clark cover. They do Kansas City Southern on this record, you know, wonderfully. And of course, this band, you know, their big hit was Amy. And I mean, just great song, great band. And here are the songs. And there's Kansas City Southern, the Gene Clark cover. And here's a band that's a little obscure. They used to warm up for the likes of, let's say, Tower of Power and Boss Skaggs. Usually they were the opening act. And these guys are originally from Chicago, actually Champaign, Illinois. And that's Mason Prophet. And you have Terry Talbot and John Michael Talbot, brothers, that were in this band. They were active from about 69 to 73. I have about 3 Mason Prophet albums. And I love this band. You know, it's a little spotty. You find the songs that you like the most. But really, really interesting band. Straight up country rock, under the radar. And here's the inner jacket. And the fold-out cover. And this is on a private label This is on Happy Tiger. There's side 1. So I love me some Mason Prophet. And John Michael Talbot went on to a lot of work in Christian recording, and he put out a ton of music. Now, I got to show this. I got to show some Grateful Dead, and this is Bear's Choice. And these are concert highlights compiled by Owsley Stanley. And we call this album Bear's Choice, if you're a fan of the Grateful Dead. And I happen to be a fan of the Grateful Dead. These are compiled from shows from February 13th and 14th at Fillmore East in New York City. And wonderful, wonderful record. And you have songs on here like Katie May, Dark Holler, Wake Up Little Susie, Black Peter. You have Smokestack Lightning and Hard to Handle that Mr. Rod McKernan, Pigpen, handles so well on vocals. You know, Pigpen was such a integral part of the Grateful Dead, and here's the other side of that label. And this was given to me by my really great friend in the early 80s, Tricky Ricky, and I went to a bunch of Dead shows with him, and he gave me this, and so I cherish this one. I would like a cleaner copy, but it still plays really well, and I don't mind the pops and clicks because it has a lot of sentimental value, and it sounds really good. And by the way, you just turn it up, right? So one more record concerning Jerry Garcia, because he played pedal steel on this debut album of NRPS, New Riders of the Purple Sage. And as a kid, I had this patch on a work shirt that I wore a lot around 1972, 1973. And this is just a wonderful, wonderful record. You have, you know, on here, John Dawson is on here. We call him Marmaduke, David Nelson, Dave Torbert, Jerry Garcia's on here. You have Commander Cody playing piano on 2 songs, and Mickey Hart jumps in. Spencer Dryden as well does drums on here. And you have I Don't Know Ya, What You Gonna Do? Portland Woman is one of my all-time favorite New Riders of the Purple Sage songs. Henry is so killer. Glendale Train, Louisiana Lady. Let me show you the back cover. And the back cover, guys, this has got to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, this has got to be upstairs at the Fillmore in San Francisco on Fillmore Street, upstairs at Fillmore West. And this is probably right before the band is going on with Jerry. I'm sure he's going to play some pedal steel with the New Riders at this performance. But if I'm not mistaken, this should be upstairs at the old Fillmore. And this would be around 1970, so 52 years ago. Pretty darn cool. And one last record. And what I said that Chris Hellman was quoted saying about a band perfecting country rock, that would be this band right here. That's the Eagles. And I love this album. This is probably my favorite album of theirs. The second album I also love. That was more of a concept album, and the third album. And then, you know, I love a lot of the tracks from the later albums, but it's just a little too slick. And even Don Henley was quoted and said that they wrote those songs for the money, you know, for the commercial aspect of churning it out for FM radio, AM. And here's the boys. You have Bernie Ledden, Randy Meisner, Glenn and Don Henley and Glenn Frey, the late great Glenn Frey. And the songs, I mean, Bernie Ledden, you know, Gene's old buddy, his guitar work, these two guys, I wish they would have included these two guys after Glenn died. You know, that's like a political thing. They got in a fight like about 45 years ago. I don't get it, but it's their band. So wonderful. The Eagles' first record, debut, huge record. And I love the inner sleeve with the cactus flower and the logo, Eagles. And let me show you the wax. This is on David Geffen's label. Asylum. And David created Asylum Records for Jackson Browne because nobody was signing Jackson, and David was a huge supporter of Laura Nyro and Jackson. So he just started his own label, which Asylum had Joni Mitchell on it as well. So there we go, Asylum Records. Big on the West Coast sound, California. Hey guys, thanks so much. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.